Now, it is not uncommon for artists to go through a bit of a creative renaissance or resurgence and they rebrand. But this artist that I've got in studio with me right now is just amazing. He's a natural born talent, was singing by age 8, was composing by the age of 16. He has won quite a few awards and he has shared the stage with Zolani Mahola, Matthew Gold, Craig Lucas, Jimmy Nevis. So Jason Orpheus is here in studio with me now to share his latest single called Ghost. Welcome to Smile FM.
Thank you. Thank you so much for having me.
Thank you for joining us. I see you've had a very busy couple of weeks chatting to lots of different people about the song. But let's start with the most obvious question. So people might actually know you by the name Lathim.
Correct.
Because that was the artist name you previously used.
I've been operating since, I would say, 2017 as Lathim. And that served me well, I think, for the last 8 years, I would say. My maths isn't so lekker, but I think it served me well for the last 8 years.
It's after 8 on a Tuesday night. No one's math is lekker.
But I think post pandemic and lockdown and all that stuff, I think a lot of people went on their own personal reset journeys. And I know as an artist myself, I went on one because I had been wearing multiple hats under the name Lathim. And I felt that it was a number of reasons that led up to the rebranding and the sort of separation of all these identities. But there was the design, there was the humanitarian work, and then there was the singing and all these things. And I felt that, just from a sort of to compartmentalize, I thought it's time, for a bit of a separation. So that was more of a practical reason.
Yes.
Why I did the rebrand. I think the other reason, and more importantly for me, was that post-pandemic, and everything that had gone on, just in personal life experiences. I mean, the pandemic was one part of it, a huge part of it, but there was a lot of stuff that was going on. I felt that I had grown and changed as an artist. And what I had come with being Lathim as an artist, there was so much more to me now. I wasn't just someone who, picked up a mic and sang anymore. I was an entrepreneur in my career now.
Yes.
I had developed extra skills in terms of production, in terms of playing musical instruments. My networks had grown and my viewpoints had changed drastically since I had started out. And I felt that there was a burgeoning within me. There was something that wanted to open up like a flower, man.
Oh.
I know it sounds very corny, but it was like a flower. I felt like a flower stuck in a bud, and there had been all this work that had been going on inside, and it wanted to open up now. And that flower wasn't going to look the same as it did before that. And Lathim was what I was before this process was happening. And so I sat and I thought about it, and I took a little bit of a hiatus, for the most part of last year, so it wasn't that little, but I took time out and I just sort of faded into the woodworks, and I wasn't doing gigs, I wasn't singing. I was writing and conceptualizing still, but it was very vacuous. It was just for me, And I did a lot of meditation around it and spoke to a lot of people in the industry, spoke to friends, spoke to followers, and once people, because my biggest fear, I think, was that people were going to be like, who do you think you are? Wie dan Jay as Jay. And that there was going to be a negative backlash. And surprisingly, there was a lot of support. There was a lot of support behind it. And I think for many other people, there was just a sort of a sense of indifference.
Yes.
I think it wasn't that of a big deal for them. So I went ahead and then I decided, well, who am I now as an artist? I need a moniker that's really going to feel authentic and that it touches home for me. It's got to have deep meaning to me. I just don't want to pick something randomly out of...
Otherwise, you could just be Susan.
Do you know what I'm saying? My
Susan
name is
from
not Susan.
I'm Susan from accounting.
But I went back. I went back to my childhood, and my second name growing up as a child was Jason.
Okay.
Yes. And the street that I grew up in was Orpheus Crescent.
Oh, lovely. Very fancy. Sure.
But it was in Mitchell's Plain, man. So
It's the fancy part of Mitchell's
you know
Plain.
what I'm saying? And so I put those names together, and putting them together reminded me of a time when I was clean slated, when I was unimpressed upon. I could do, say anything. My mind was a blank slate. There was endless opportunities ahead of me. And I wasn't touched by life experience. And so everything felt innocent back then and pure. And that's a place I wanted to go back to again. And that became my new stage name.
I love this whole story. It's very inspirational, actually. So the new song is called Ghost.
Ghost, that's correct, yeah.
Tell us a little bit about what inspired it.
Ghost was one of the many songs I'd been working on last year while I was taking all this time out. And I was thinking about where this relationship that I was sort of hanging on. I think it could be taken literally that it was a relationship, and I think many people have experienced that. Me particularly, there have been many romantic entanglements that I've had where
Entanglements?
where I've found it very difficult to let go. And everywhere you go, you see this person. You take a train past one of the stations, and the bench over there reminds you of a time you sat there with them. A song, a movie, a chocolate, anything can remind you of this person. And sometimes it takes a really long time to get over someone, to the point where you feel like you're constantly being haunted by the memory and the presence of this person in your life, and it's almost inescapable. But when I had experienced that at some point in my life, I got to a point where I realized that perhaps it was me. Perhaps I was holding on. I was unable or unwilling to let go. And so I was creating this haunted situation myself. I was keeping myself haunted by holding on to the memories and the fantasies of this person that you loved so much. But it was also a little bit deeper for me, if you want to kind of go abstract, It was that I also felt that there was a lot of instances in my life that I'd been holding on to, a lot of instances of hurt, pain, disillusionment, people that I had trusted in the past, life situations that I thought were going to last, that made me happy, and again, post-lockdown, all of those things were gone. There were so many gone. There was family that was gone. There was friends that were gone. And it was about me letting go and moving on.
It's Jason Orpheus with Ghost here on Smile FM, and I'm joined by Jason Orpheus in studio right now. So we were talking a little bit earlier about how, as you've progressed as an artist, you've gained skills and experience in certain things that you didn't maybe have before. So what I know is that you wrote the song and you also helped with the production on the song as well. So tell us a little bit about that experience where you were a bit more sort of hands-on and had time to nitpick over details while producing it.
Yeah, I think it's in my nature to be a little bit over-controlling about, the things I'm passionate about. And that's something that I consciously have to choose to not do. Otherwise, I get sucked into... I become very overly precious about things. I think this song particularly I was overly precious about. I had come up with for the last 3 years, I'd been studying music production and never really felt confident enough to put anything out there. So I work a lot in collaboration with other producers who are a lot more seasoned than me. And so with this track, I was incredibly hands-on. I did all the arrangement myself, from the strings to the bass to the kick. So I did all of that myself. I went into the studio to do vocals, and then I had another producer go through it in terms of mixing, in terms of getting that final master nice and polished. So, and for me, it's beautiful to be able to collaborate with musicians and producers like that.
Yeah.
And with the other tracks that we've been preparing, I've essentially been super hands-on with those. Like I've been arranging everything down to the last detail. because there is a look and a feel to Jason, and my style is going to lean very much into a sort of a jazzy, funky kind of house feel.
Okay.
Yeah.
We're here for that. So now, you said you took a bit of a break from gigging. Is Jason Orpheus going to be doing some gigs this year?
Jason Orpheus is. At the moment, we are getting all our set lists together.
Beautiful.
And we're polishing off our sound so that come February, we're going to be hitting some stages and some venues, God willing. And yeah, I'm going to keep everybody updated on that on my social media. So please, guys, follow me on social media. It's Jason Orpheus. And you can find me under those names on Facebook, Instagram, anything you can think of, TikTok. Yeah.
Not Hinge, though.
Not Hinge.
I had to throw that in
Not
there.
Hinge, not Grindr, not Scruff, not Tinder.
None of those. Please, it's Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, YouTube, all those good places. And then, if you want to find out more about Jason Orpheus, you can also visit his website. It's jasonorpheus.com. Orpheus is spelled Orpheus, and that is how you find him. Jason, I like you a lot. Please
like you too.
Please come visit me. Please come visit me again for your next singles. It's really exciting to watch this. And as he said, please go follow him on all the socials. Support this amazing local artist in his journey. And we look forward to more amazing songs to come.
Thank you so much.